There was a time when Harris J looked unstoppable. Young, talented, and admired by millions. To fans around the world, he was more than just a singer. He was the fresh face of a new generation of Muslim artists. In fact, many even gave him a nickname that followed him everywhere: the Muslim Justin Bieber. But while the world saw success, Harris was quietly dealing with a battle that fame could not hide. Because behind the music, behind the stage lights, and behind the perfect image, was a young man slowly losing himself. This is the story of Harris J, how he rose to fame, why he walked away, and how he found his way back. Harris J was born in London and showed signs of talent early in life. His passion for music eventually led him to train at the Brit School, one of the most respected performing arts schools in the United Kingdom. Even at a young age, it was clear Harris had something special. But his real breakthrough came in 2013. That was the year he entered Awakening Music's worldwide talent search, a competition created to discover the next big Muslim artist. And out of thousands of hopefuls, Harris won. Almost overnight, his life changed forever. Winning the competition earned him a record deal, and soon after, he began working on music that would launch him into stardom. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 2015, Harris released Salam Alaikum, and the internet went crazy. The song spread rapidly across YouTube and social media. Millions watched, millions shared, millions became fans. Suddenly, Harris was no longer just a young singer from London. He had become an international star. His clean image, youthful looks, and pop-inspired sound made him stand out immediately. And before long, fans everywhere started calling him the Muslim Justin Bieber. It was the kind of fame most young artists dream about. But what looked perfect from the outside did not feel perfect on the inside. As Harris became more famous, the pressure around him began to grow. The expectations became heavier, the spotlight became brighter, and privately, he began struggling. Years later, Harris opened up about how difficult that time truly was. He admitted that during parts of his early career, his intentions for doing Islamic music were not always sincere. He explained that sometimes business and money played a bigger role than faith. And over time, that reality began to affect him deeply. He started feeling disconnected from the message he was representing. He entered what he described as a rebellious phase, a period where he felt lost, confused, and far from the person people believed he was. Even while fans looked up to him, he was battling inner struggles behind closed doors. And eventually, it reached a point where he could not ignore it anymore. Harris began feeling like he was living a lie, like he was inspiring people publicly, but privately, he was falling apart inside, while privately struggling to inspire himself. And that guilt weighed heavily on him. So he made a decision few expected. He stepped away. He distanced himself from the label, from the fame, and from the image that had made him famous. Not because he wanted to quit music forever, but because he needed to rediscover himself. He needed time to reconnect with his faith, to reflect, to heal. And slowly, that is exactly what he did. As time passed, Harris returned with a different mindset. His music no longer felt focused on image or popularity. Instead, it became more honest, more emotional, more personal. Songs like Oh Allah revealed a side of Harris fans had never fully seen before. A more mature Harris, a more reflective Harris, a man focused on faith rather than fame. Then in 2025, he released Revival, a project many saw as the final proof of his transformation. It was not just another release. It was Harris telling the world who he had become. A man who had fame, lost himself in the process, and fought to find his way back. Today, Harris J's legacy is no longer only about music. His story has become something bigger than that. It is a reminder that fame does not guarantee happiness, that success does not erase struggle, and that sometimes the people smiling brightest on the outside are hurting the most on the inside. Because Harris J's story is not just about becoming famous, it is about losing yourself, searching for truth, and having the courage to start again. And maybe that is what makes his story so powerful. But that he walked away from it to become himself.
It was just to get me out of my circumstances. When I was 16 and they said, we'll sign you, I was just like, yeah, blessed. I would have done anything else apart from what I was doing.